I'd like to call to order the City of Monona Landmarks Commission meeting of Wednesday, November 8th, 2024. Don't I have the roll.
Good.
You've got a quorum. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the April 10th meeting. I will move to approve the minutes. Okay, and is there a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Second, are there any changes that you would suggest? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as you see them in the packet, say aye. Fantastic. Motion passes. Let's move on then. We have appearances. Number 5, unfinished business, discussion and possible action on Springhaven Pagoda Restoration and Preservation Project. Or you want to take it over?
Yeah, sure. So the commission's aware, we didn't receive any bids on the RFP. And last month, this was on the agenda, but we didn't really have time to discuss. So I really wanted to focus today on what our next steps are after not receiving any bids. If we want to explore other potential options, or if we want to just tweak the RFP to try and put it out there again. For some context, last month I mentioned that Teresa and I met with Mary and Neil, city administrator, and Doug to discuss priorities. And there's still Mary, it's still a priority of hers to restore the pagoda. She still wants to see that project happen. But I think there's agreement that we might need to change how we're doing it a little bit. So I had reached out to some of the conservators that downloaded the bid materials, but then didn't end up applying. Just to see, why they didn't, if they had any concerns. I heard back from one from the Midwest Conservation Art Center, and they said that because the RFP included potential structural work, they felt like they didn't have the expertise for that, and that was the reason they didn't pursue the project. And Mary had offered to reach out to the Homburgs, who they bid on the previous RFP back during the park reconstruction. To see if they would be willing to potentially perform any work, structural work, foundation work. And she got in touch with Andrew Homburg, who was happy to take a look for us. So a couple weeks ago, I sent over all the pagoda materials and an invitation to meet. And right now he's just digesting all of that. But the thought would be
He
that
was with us with that walkthrough, I think, before everything started too, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I remember you introduced to him.
Like last year.
Possible.
Yeah, well, I know before the park was even started.
Oh,
I don't think Andrew's ever walked with us.
No, okay.
yeah, I'm not aware. The thought would be, if there are these structural concerns, to shore those up before we get a conservator in. That kind of work, we're maybe not as concerned with matching the historic content. For like things that we can't really see, the footings, foundation, instead of the roof. Have that shored up before we seek a conservator. So, it may require funds, part of the project budget. It may not. It's just something that we'll need to keep exploring if the commission get comfortable with that.
So that would mean that the structure would be taken down, right, to fix the foundations?
Oh.
Yeah, we don't know. That's that's what we
Or
wanted
to be stored somewhere.
the Homburgs to
Okay.
come out and, just if there's any way to do this. I think, let me pull up our
And all of this-
report from structural integrity. There was some work that he recommended. So recommend the bases of the columns be cleaned out and pointed with mortar.
Many of the bases are missing now, though.
Right,
or
I was gonna say
some of
that
them are
is
missing.
not right.
I don't think mortar's gonna fix
No.
it.
Yeah,
Well, and that's just integrity too over the time.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, what you're saying Andrew Homburg?
yeah,
I talked to a femrite.
no,
He worked for whoever was working in that park.
okay,
And he was interested too,
This was done
being a femrite, you know, in,
prior to the park being done,
right,
no,
Or
this
after
was
the
after,
park
so this
was done.
was, yep,
so after it had all been filled in, foundation covered.
yeah, that's the.
Oh, okay.
Last February.
No, it's
years
2
ago.
years
Yeah,
ago.
2 years ago.
Mhm.
So this was after the contract with Daniel's company was canceled.
Mhm, right,
We had over structural concerns, and we hired Integrity to provide an opinion, and they felt that it was structurally sound, but had these recommended fixes.
and I see there was another number down below there, 25 to 30, under the 2 to 3. The next couple paragraphs down,
Yeah.
there, right there.
That's 2 years old, though.
Right, correct, correct. And it's crude estimate, very crude,
Mhm.
I see that wording. Yeah. So,
Well, so if we do want to pursue some kind of structural fix, I think the cost is likely to be less than 25,000. So we don't have to go through the whole public bidding process,
Mhm.
and we can just do it quickly, hopefully. And then just be reassured that the structure is fine. And then in any RFP for the rest of the structure, we don't even have to mention foundation
correct.
footings at all, right? We really just focus on the roof.
Can you scroll down and see, it says the second option would be similar to the first except blah, 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 and that's with carbon fiber.
Yeah, and we
Blah,
had
blah,
discussed
blah,
that we
right,
didn't feel
okay.
comfortable with that option.
Correct, okay,
What if we took that approach to the whole project?
What approach?
Well, you're basically saying carve it up so that we don't have to send out a P for the structural. What if we did
Yeah.
that for the rest, like? Say, fix the columns,
Mhm.
and then the next phase, fix the roof.
oh,
Yeah,
So
So
take
they're
it,
all under 25.
sure.
yeah.
We could just hire somebody, get this thing done.
yeah, I'd have to consult with the city attorney for that.
Mhm.
You're not allowed to do that for a single project.
This is kind of a way of.
This
So we are
doing it.
doing it.
Yeah,
Do we
right,
do
but there's
it
different, if
for
it's different,
twins? One in 1 year.
Just
in
trying to,
January,
now it's done.
yeah, I wonder if there's different expertises for each
Yeah.
portion, if that would get around it,
Yeah.
but they're in state statute, you're not allowed just to break the contract up into smaller
Otherwise,
pieces to get around it. Yeah,
Right.
right, but I'm sure there's a way.
Mhm.
So are you,
Yeah.
are you saying? Just gonna pull this image up. Are you saying any work below this?
I don't know, you
Or
know,
is
we just need to
it
know what the
below
state
the-
of that is.
The base of that column that's,
I think anything below that base, I mean, you need to get down at least, I would say, 3 feet. Not to be
Yeah, that's the
exaggerated, I think, to make sure it's stable,
So, but
There's
the
like 18
foundation,
more inches below
Correct.
that.
you
correct,
can't just. I doubt they do it with the rest in place.
no. Well, and how old is the structure, so maybe it is time to say, we love you. But you're just not safe for the 21st, 22nd century, what are we in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What other, did you get any other feedback? Was
No,
it just the structural
No.
concern?
yeah, just the structural concern, from what I've heard,
but this recommendation is saying the base of the column, right?
Mhm,
right?
You're talking
Just the
about
footing.
foundation that's below this. Where does
Potentially.
that talk about?
That's not in here, but the commission has discussed
Mhm.
concern about that in the past, right? And that's included in the RFP,
Yeah,
that there's potential foundation work needed.
when we had this survey of it done though, and that engineer that did the drawings of it, and then we dug away at that foundation, that's all dry stack. So it's not like you can just go in and mortar it up. And then also you'd have to dig up the park. I just don't.
Right, to
See how
John's
that's-
question about whether it would need, the pagoda would need to be disassembled. Now you're
Yeah.
talking about bringing in some really heavy equipment to lift and cranes and move things around.
Right, into a brand new.
Set it off to the side and.
But how do you, I guess if I was getting this RFP, responding, the question I would, it says if structural
Mhm.
is required, so how do you put a number on something?
Right,
If it's
there's
an if, right?
uncertainty in the RFP,
Right,
yeah.
is there a way to get rid of the uncertainty?
Yeah, that's another thing we talked about in that meeting, was, you know, first, can we alleviate any structural concerns? So we don't include it in the RFP,
Yeah.
and then would it potentially be worth using some of the funds to hire a conservator to put together a real treatment proposal? You know, essentially what Craig Diller had originally proposed for us, come out, take a look, put together a proposal that then we could use as an RFP. And here are the exact
Mhm.
items to be fixed, and here's how to do it,
Mhm.
and just find someone to do that work. So, Mary was open to using money for that. I don't know
I'll
how,
help right there.
yeah, to
Okay.
use some of the 65,000 that's been allocated to essentially write the
Right.
RFP with a detailed treatment proposal. And then the other wrinkle on top of that is Alder Bernstein let me know that he had been in touch with Craig Diller a couple weeks ago, who said that he would give us some names potentially who might be able to do that work. And he asked to see all the RFP materials, so I sent that over to Craig, and I haven't heard since. But I think we should, you know, not really consider those specifics, but just today discuss how we feel about the potential structure, footing work, whatever we want to call it, and then if we do want to pursue putting together a treatment plan, hiring someone to do that, to use as an RFP. Might have better luck that way.
Mhm.
My understanding of the difference between the two is that the first is kind of invisible to a visitor. It's done at or below ground level. It's purely, and perhaps above, but it's purely about safety of the structure. It has no cosmetic component. And that I think everyone can agree that at minimum, we just need to make it safe. So that would be sort of like the non-negotiable aspect.
Yeah.
And then there still seems to be, unless I'm missing something, there
Mhm.
still seems to be mixed feelings about whether we need to make it visually beautiful or restored to the way it was, or if we just make it safe and move on. And I thought the mayor was more about safety, but maybe I'm not remembering something she may have said.
I think the Hamburgs would want a structure.
They would want to make it
I think.
visually, they would want to do
and I
the
think-
cosmetic.
Well, I think a lot of people in the community that would like to have something there that's similar, at least, if not the same thing. I bet if you asked, there'd be people that say, if you could make it safe and make it look like this, you know what I mean? I think people would be comfortable because it is in such a vulnerable spot.
Are you saying a different structure?
Well, I think you're gonna have, I mean, if they're gonna have to come in and, you know, work at the base. Get that, and like I say, it's not, like you said, it's 18 inches. I mean, they're gonna have to go down at least another foot below that at least to clean it. And then, like you said, they're gonna have to take it all down. Do you then
We
try
don't-
to save those pillars to put back up?
We don't know if, I would say we should not do anything that would require, I mean, it would be out of the financial scope of. Now you're talking about bringing in heavy equipment, you know?
I don't think that happened.
I like the idea of getting a scope of work.
First to present. So it's all out in
I
front,
mean, we
right?
had a scope of work when we did the survey of it
Yeah.
and had Charlie write that whole, you know, report on it. But that was 2017, 15, I don't know. So I know it's deteriorated since then.
So could I ask
Yeah.
for some clarity here?
Yeah,
We have this concrete pagoda that's deteriorated.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that we want to fix or mend the pagoda to make it look as good as it can and remain structurally sound.
Mhm.
That's what we're trying to accomplish.
I think we want it to look, we want it to be
So-
the safeties first, right?
Okay, but somebody said it's structurally safe,
Yeah, okay,
right? We have reports that say that.
We have conflicting.
We have a report that says it's not safe,
I believe so.
but
We
it's
have one
open,
that says
isn't
it does, and one that
How can it be
says
open?
that
Yes or no?
yeah.
yeah,
Like get down there unless you jump down there, which kids do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's- you can get to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so
All right,
Patrick
so we have
Egan, who
conflicting
originally was hired to design the roof. He was concerned with this, once they started working on the pagoda during the original roof replacement. He was concerned, and then the project was shut down.
Right.
And then in response, we reached out to Kurt Strauss, Structural Integrity, and he felt that it was structurally safe.
Okay.
But had some recommended fixes for the bases of the columns.
so we have this concrete pagoda. Which, let's go with the last report.
Sure.
Structurally sound.
Mhm.
So it isn't a word. And then, but these columns that the pagoda are sitting on things that you can't see called foundations. And someone's questioning the foundations might need. I mean, if you're gonna fix this, you gotta make sure that the stuff below is gonna hold it,
Yeah.
right? But I think you just made the comment, let's not beautify the pagoda.
Well, go ahead.
Let's, if it's structurally sound, let's just leave it as it is. Which to me is kind of like the Acropolis, right?
right.
You're not fixing that. And it's a old historic thing and just, that's how it weathered.
So I guess, yeah, I
Which
guess
would
I'm
be
kind of
yes.
wondering, can we just
Yeah,
separate
yeah.
those two goals? So
Right.
there's a safety goal and there's like
Okay,
a cosmetic goal.
okay. Well, we have to do.
If we
safety.
must do safety, we may not have to do the cosmetic, and I love your Acropolis, it's like, that's just how it's weathered, and that's fine, and nobody's trying to
I'm
like.
not saying we shouldn't beautify it. but I'm saying
Right,
that's the
right,
approach you
it's just an
take.
option.
I
Yeah.
think part of the cosmetic though is a safety concern because
Okay.
that roof keeps deteriorating and
Right.
rebar will keep sticking out every time a
Okay.
chunk falls
Sure.
off.
Sure.
And so there's a maintenance to that.
Just the memory.
I think it had lead.
Here's a letter from Patrick Egan, by the way, that was the initial cause for concern that caused the
Mhm.
project to shut down.
This was the initial one,
Mhm.
which the second, which structural integrity read. I
Yeah,
assume.
yeah.
Okay,
I'd have to confirm with Doug, but
and then they
Would
spoke
believe so.
differently. Right, they gave it
and then he
different.
came out, Kurt came out with a field survey
Yeah.
essentially.
I mean, Kurt's, I know him, he's excellent at what he does. I'm not saying this person isn't. And my only comment about taking it down was that I don't know how you would fix the foundations without,
Yeah.
maybe you can. I don't
And it's
know.
not to say you can't save those
Be
pillars and
surgical.
reuse them,
Correct.
you know what I mean? You could set those to the side, do the base, put the pillars back in, and then put a new roof on,
Right, and
new loaf of bread.
and this concern was, that things would become maybe unsafe once the roof was
Correct.
removed for
Correct.
replacement, so we're not doing any of that.
I think though that this is before the park work was done.
Correct,
Now the park work is done, grading is done.
Mhm.
That foundation may not be unstable now that they've graded the entire thing.
Sure.
Nothing's pushing
Yeah.
against it, you mean, kind of thing?
Yeah,
Mm.
cause it didn't used to be, as high as it was,
Mhm.
high as it is, I mean.
So are we just making assumptions right now that the?
Right.
Like, do we have any valid concern about the foundation?
I don't have a valid concern about the foundation without somebody relooking at now that the grading is, completely covering it.
Yeah.
My concern is more of the base of the columns and the
Mhm.
roof.
Yeah. Well, we have Andrew Hamburg who's
Mhm.
willing at some point to come out and take a look at
Mhm.
the base.
Okay, so I know Andrew Pomberg is
Yeah.
Pomberg Construction, but
Yeah.
what is his title? Like, what is his professional?
I think he's a civil.
Yeah, I don't know if
engineer.
he'll come out and do it personally or
Yeah,
have,
like,
probably
is
have
he an
someone from the
engineer?
company.
Okay,
He
Chris
needs that-
Hamburg is,
engineer.
So,
yeah, I'm not sure
No.
about Andrew. I think Andrew might be on the real estate side of the firm.
But he would have a
Be Hamburg,
professional that does this work,
Right.
look at it.
right? So
I think,
we have this money, and it
Yeah.
is the mayor's goal to have it restored.
Mhm.
Is it, like Freddie mentioned, is it still the commissions and,
mhm.
you know, what are the next steps here?
I
That's
think
my goal.
everybody
for the
wants the
council.
same goal, it's just
Yeah.
how to get it done,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I
it's
think
just
it-
finding that one kind of group that would do, one. Some wanna do the roof, some wanna do this, it's to find someone to do it all. You know? So what were you saying about that there would be a group that would come in and kind of get us set up for when we write the grant?
Well, we could use some of the money to hire a
Yeah.
professional to prepare the RFP document and have a
Mhm.
treatment plan in there.
So it's more precise.
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
right, so
you think that,
How many
I
people
think that,
downloaded it?
yeah,
it was like 20, but
20?
but
But some.
Maybe they didn't know what it
16
was.
of those were
Yeah.
just these websites that crawl
Yeah.
bid
Yeah.
websites and
Mhm.
repost them, so maybe 4 legitimate conservators.
Okay,
And then you reached out to some who.
Reached out to all of them and one of them responded and said. It was, they were concerned about the
They don't wanna
potential structural
residents-
resistance, it's not
Right,
within their
right.
expertise, yeah.
Yeah,
but maybe with another
so if the,
presentation of it, they might be, right?
Right, I think if we can remove any structural work from the RFP
Right.
by ensuring that it's shored up. And then having more detailed treatment proposal in the RFP, we'd have better luck.
Better luck.
so the individual that's potentially could rewrite the RFP, paid to write it.
Mhm.
To make it more precise,
Right,
what will they say about the structure? To do something about it or not, or don't we know?
about the
You know,
structural
it-
concerns.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess my thought would be we fix it up prior to that, so that that RFP is really just
And that's
focusing
why
on
we're
the
having
cosmetic,
Hamburg look at it.
yeah.
Okay,
so,
All right, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
That- yeah.
so we have a fixed pot of money, right?
Mhm.
To throw at this project. What if making it safe eats up all that money? I mean, I feel like we should see first if that might happen. We don't even know if we're gonna have enough money left over to approach the cosmetic aspect of it.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's kind of waiting for Chris to,
Right.
Chris.
and,
Andrew, sorry.
yeah. And by the
Or
way, it
so,
looks like,
yeah.
well, yeah, it looks like, yeah, the realty and construction side of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need to wait for this.
I think so, but we
Yeah.
can at least set the,
So
we can at least agree on a path forward, next steps, you know, assuming we get the best case
do we
scenario.
need an action? This is an action.
It's listed in
Possible.
there, this sheet,
Yeah. Did we give a timeline of when he can look at it and when we
No,
can get an
no,
answer?
I-
I think we need to
Yeah.
give him a date that we need an answer by then.
Okay,
I would like to know by our next meeting.
okay,
I agree,
by June 10th,
yeah,
12th, yeah,
it's all, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't wanna keep continuing down this
Yeah.
road.
yeah,
We've been on it.
We've been on this for 8 years. I like this path though, of
mhm,
finding out
Let's
if
just,
it's sound and then
I mean,
having somebody
okay,
write
Yeah.
the proposal.
and then write the proposal, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, with the mayor behind it, it's like it might, we're got more oomph here.
I mean, considering the city is going to referendum for operating, I cannot imagine once this pot of money is exhausted, if it requires all that money just to
Mhm.
make it safe.
Yeah,
Considering all the
Okay.
other goals of the community, I can't believe it. I think it would be difficult to get money for cosmetic glasses. Like,
right.
And because he writes the RFP, he can still bid on it, correct?
Oh. That's
Imagine,
really,
I would
Yeah,
imagine so, but I
yeah.
would wanna know.
and by he, are you referring to a specific individual? There's no one in mind right now that we need to find someone to do
Oh, I
that.
thought you had somebody in mind to rewrite the RFP.
No,
Okay.
no,
Oh, no,
not at the
okay.
moment, we
Okay.
would need. We would need
Right,
to find
whoever
someone
that
who can do
is,
that work.
Mhm.
sorry. I would like them to be eligible to bid on
Yeah, I don't know how that would work, I need to consult the attorney about that.
So do we need a motion?
I just, for procedural. So we're having someone look at it to evaluate safety. And
Mhm.
during that evaluation, I would imagine. This, evaluation would include, and here's what it would require to
Mhm.
make it safe. Not just it is or it is not,
Correct.
but rather here's what it would need.
Yeah.
And can't we just get like two other people, organizations to come in and say, it is or it is not safe, and if it is not, here's what it would need. I mean, must we have an RFP to?
Not for the safety purpose, the RFP is for the second.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but I think, so we've got one person years ago that says it is safe. And now Hamburg could look at it
Mhm.
to say whether it is or it is not,
And if they could do the work.
and if they could do the work.
Right.
directly.
Okay,
It's under 25,000.
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
and we have 65.
Right.
Okay, so before our next meeting, we need, or we would really like
Yeah,
an opinion on this.
Correct.
Okay.
yeah, I don't think we need a motion at the moment, next month, yeah, if we want to work with them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yes.
See what he brings forward.
Yeah. And then, yeah, maybe, just if you would want me to still in the background, keep working on maybe finding someone or doing some research into who can do a potential treatment proposal,
Yeah,
lining that up.
I'd start with the person you talked to.
Yeah, well, I haven't talked to,
Your- Oh,
yeah, I see, with the conservator
Yeah.
who responded, yes.
Yeah, I would start there.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep, and hopefully Craig Diller as well. I'm not gonna bank on that at all, but Rick's in touch with.
Mhm.
yeah. absolutely.
Mhm. Okay,
All right, so you'll reach out to Congress with. a
yeah,
due date.
make it
Yeah.
in line. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
Fantastic.
excellent.
so let's move on then to 5B, 2024
Start preservation and planning.
and updates. So far, we've had just, some public education in the Maimonona newsletter. Rebecca did a little work there to help put together an article. I just grabbed some things from the website that we already had, some of our landmarks. And just to bring awareness to it being Historic Preservation Month. I think the library posted like a kiosk of books.
There's a book display, there's a poster for the book sale there, their brochures are over there.
Very
Maps,
nice. And at the last meeting, there was a decision that we would hope that next year we could have maybe a tour of a couple historic sites in Monona lined up, but not this year. All right. Maybe this would be an appropriate time to, or,
PSAs also were are those airing on VMO, the
I
PSAs?
don't believe anything was done with those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, chat to Will.
I'll just take a moment to say that, so since it is Historic Preservation Month, this book was on my coffee table at home, and I was flipping through the front page and I saw a signature
Yep, Dorothy.
autograph from Dorothy Hayne, and
That's sweet.
that was very
Mhm.
touching since just recently, lost this, member of our community who wrote this book.
Recently?
Yeah,
I think it was like a week.
just was the last few weeks, yeah.
Oh,
So she passed.
Cause she was on.
Yeah,
Mom.
she was a real pillar and representative of Monona landmarks.
You could maybe do a little blurb with the book.
Yeah,
Yeah, with
Yeah.
a picture.
For one.
Maybe that's, there is, the newsletter deadline is coming up this Friday, is that what you're thinking, maybe to?
Sure, or
Maybe
even our,
something.
landing page
In
for
the
preservation.
making or
month.
something, yeah, I mean, it's just a lovely book with so
That
much.
book's also for sale.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a good book. That's a really good book. They did a nice job.
She worked really hard on it.
I remember I was out canvassing for some cause or another many years ago. And I knocked on her door and just got to talking, and the next thing you know, we were sitting in her living room and I saw this book and asked about it, and before too long, I was walking out with a copy in my hand, so
I
it was
remember.
kind of nice, yeah, signed copy, I know.
I remember talking about this book a couple of years ago and saying, I think it was during our comprehensive planning. Saying, wow, 75. Years have gone by since we could fill it in.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing then is, Rebecca, would you restate, you mentioned something about putting this on the website or?
Well,
in the
maybe,
newsletter?
maybe mentioning that, we recently lost a
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think she's a founding member of the Land
Yeah.
Use Commission.
Historic Blooming Grove sent me an email about it earlier in the week. On Sunday, she was 102 years old.
network or something.
Yeah, I think she only had one son.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe-
And yeah,
And
maybe
mentioning
share-
that she's also the author, or
Yeah.
co-author
Mhm.
of this.
Yep, her
You can find
celebration
that
of
at-
life will be held at the Dean House
Oh, wow.
on May 15th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that'd be the day the newsletter comes.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's okay.
and do we still have copies of this book for sale?
Yeah.
I've never seen this book at City Hall.
Oh, you haven't,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's at Dean House.
So we don't have copies for
I
sale.
thought we did, but I thought we did here.
We might buried in the basement somewhere, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check.
Yeah, if you wanna check, that would be something we could also put in the newsletter. And was there another book, remember we wanted to offer it at a discount during,
Did you put that up?
Yeah, it's for sale for $5 right now. In Mark's book.
The library.
They were not comfortable selling it at the library, so they're just displaying a poster. You can buy it here at City Hall.
Sure.
let's see. Very good. Wonderful. So what else is there to say about Historic Preservation Month planning and updates? Anything you wanted to talk about this year? Or is there anything that we want to start planning for next year?
I sent Laura, I've just been gathering, every time I get an email update about different communities. during Preservation Month, I've been pulling interesting things out, so I sent them an email.
Do you want me to pull that up right now?
If you want,
It
yeah.
didn't print very
That's,
well.
yeah, I'm just creating a spreadsheet every time I get an email. And then kind of adjusting it to what we could do. But,
Very nice.
but, the things at the bottom of the list are things we either are doing or could do. I have them in blue.
This is fantastic, Rebecca.
I figure we could add these things to the website, maybe.
Uh-huh.
The link for that, the Secretary of Interior standards, I think should always be on our website.
Yeah, okay, that's a great idea.
And I think the link to our National Register listings could always be on our website.
Mhm.
But these things aren't really, I don't know if we have, did you mention them? That we have the book on display at the library?
I still need to do a news flash about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
something like a newsflash or whatever you do.
Yep.
To like promote these topics. that
Yeah.
we're already doing.
We take
Yeah.
money over the website?
No, just in person.
I love line 33. Research your house's history. You ever wonder who built your house?
Oh, I
Was that
stopped at
Arco?
the, oh, I was at the
Love it.
Nichols farm and they were mowing their
Yeah.
lawn, and I asked him if there was anything he wanted to add, and he said no. Remember you wanted to know about that Nichols farmhouse?
Mhm.
So yeah, when I stopped there to take a picture, he was happy with everything that's been printed, nothing new to add.
Okay,
Really nice.
If you need me to format so you can print this and we can look it over the next year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Maybe plan for next year.
Right. Right,
There are a lot of great ideas that we just don't do because we don't have. We never plan in advance.
yeah, so maybe
Yeah,
put this as an
that's-
action like 6 months out.
We tried, we have that like,
Well, right, and we
Yeah.
started talking about what
Yeah.
we could do, but
yeah,
yeah, I just, I get Google email updates every
Yeah.
time somebody posts something about.
So maybe, something like this, the way to, you just add a column for who is it assigned to and what's the due date. You can have.
Well,
them.
this isn't really, this is more just ideas
Mhm.
and who could do, like, if you go to the top, like. Like we could have a speaker or we could have like a little lunch and learn kind of thing.
Mhm.
Walking tour or a tour
Mhm.
at home. So I kind of just gave some.
Yeah.
Who could do those things.
I really would love to see a tour, like more open homes, more of those historic homes being open. Love that.
Yeah. I know that, I think I have a link to one of the, builders or contractors that did bungalowing when she did the cottage, restoration. Maybe we could do something with them and have them talk about it and tour it.
Good idea.
I know she did it when she first opened it back up, you
Yeah.
know, but,
for that one.
huh,
I mean, the things they
yeah, it's,
sound.
oh, God, it's beautiful. I was just there for our meeting, our neighborhood meeting as well there.
Mhm.
And,
This one here, restoration contractor,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We can keep this on the agenda every now and then for
Yeah.
next year. Get ahead of next May.
Right.
yeah.
This is fantastic.
We don't have a private entity for Monona, like there's Historic Madison and Madison Trust for Historic
Yeah.
Preservation, Milwaukee Preservation. We don't have a Monona. So,
why not?
I don't know, you gotta,
We
gotta
could,
start a nonprofit,
we
man.
certainly could. Yeah, why not? What would that take?
Yeah, we need.
Because they would do like the tour thing.
Yeah, they could take charge of all of this kind of stuff.
So would the Historic Living Grove group be able to start? Maybe to look for possible interest there? So can you describe what would such a group be responsible for?
You can do, so a lot of nonprofits for preservation out there do advocacy, they do, research, books, yeah,
Speaker.
speakers,
Speaker series or. But I've seen a lot of do tours.
they can. Also help you find funds, grants, more grants than just our chip up grants. I just attended the webinar. I think there's some of the information.
Yeah,
With the group. I'll have the share with.
Mhm.
yeah.
Who has them in Dane County? I mean, Madison.
Well, there's the
But it's-
historic Madison and then there's,
So,
I don't know, I'm not sure.
It'd be interesting.
I bet Middleton
See how
does.
smaller towns have them.
Maybe Middleton, Cross Plains, I bet. Cause they're
Oh, really?
really big because of the,
Cambridge might.
yeah, Cambridge.
Cambridge might have.
I'll make up
They're
Mount
small.
Horeb, going that way, cause they're national, they probably have a historic thing there, cause there's that chiropractic.
We're
thing
members of the
there, too.
commission, the Wisconsin Commission, so I
Yeah.
wonder if they have information
On,
on who has nonprofits
yeah. Ciao.
or they don't have it now, they're usually nonprofits, but.
So Rebecca, so how do you summarize this? So the idea is whether Monona could have our own sort of citizen-led nonprofit, is that kind of how to say it, or what?
Some of them are.
Some of them might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, cause like Madison Trust, I don't know.
Well, we know
They're-
that you're hiring, I mean, you're hiring staff and
Yeah.
the space and,
Right.
Mm,
right?
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it can range depending on the scale. I mean, we're 8,600
mhm,
or not.
For all the folks in the city.
So, yeah,
Residents, right?
Yeah,
It's not
right,
very
right.
big.
no,
Yeah, we could.
It would probably be a citizen, but I think it's the advocacy, it's a lot of these things on this list, actually.
Mhm.
Pretty much,
Right?
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get somebody else to do.
Yeah, someone has resources, yeah,
We don't have our own preservation department, you know?
right.
well, I think
Some
people think
cities.
that's what it is, though. You know, they
But we
think,
are,
The commissions,
Yeah.
well, most bigger cities have their own preservation.
Mhm.
Their events are generally paid.
Yeah.
We came from Racine and they had a pretty organized, historic. And every year they did a tour and
Yeah.
$25 to get the tour.
Yeah,
Just 10 houses. They rotated every year kind of a thing.
yeah.
I mean, we could do something like that. I mean, we've got a year to do it, you know, line up 5 houses, charge $25 a pop. We could do that, right? I mean, no, yeah,
$25 a house.
I don't know, whatever it was that you said.
what is it, what's parade of
I mean,
homes? That's what you
do the
have to
whole
be.
thing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, $25.
Give them food or something at the end, you know, yeah, there you go, see, perk them up, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm, little
I
snacks.
think we should do a tour.
Yeah.
I do too, I would
And
love
others.
that,
Maybe it's over 5 years, that's 3 a year or something,
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, or 5 a year.
I mean, next year we could easily, if we got to work right now, next year we could easily have 5 houses during the month. Over like one weekend, maybe, is that what you're envisioning? Like you have one weekend,
Yeah.
and 5
one day,
houses or
yeah,
something.
one day.
or if they can't all do them the same weekend, more than one weekend.
Right.
Because it's the whole month long.
Right,
So you can have events lined up.
I mean,
Mhm.
I would absolutely love, I would be more than happy to be involved in making that happen. I know that Rebecca and I am not the expert on this committee, but I can reach out and talk to people. So it's really just a matter of doing that, so that'll be on my to-do list.
Yeah, we can add it to the agenda,
Yeah.
whenever. I'll say,
I mean,
yeah,
do you feel thumbs up about this?
I wouldn't allow anyone in my home, I'm just
Oh,
saying
Put
that,
on the grounds, on your.
on the grounds would
land
be fine, yeah.
To see.
Yeah,
the
cause I'm even having a graduation party and there's porta potties, there's nobody coming in the house.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
yeah,
But I mean,
You would be
The
able to tell
grounds.
the history maybe, or something we could.
Right, or have, you know, pictures of the inside, outside, or something like that, yeah, but like I say, there's just too many valuables inside. To be
That's a good point.
people perusing through,
few
falling down the
exhibits-
staircase, you know, like,
Exhibits are usually exterior or
If you're doing a walking tour.
Yeah.
just
Sure.
exterior,
But
okay,
you could do like, you know, walking tours with signage or something.
okay.
Usually you have
easier-
somebody
it's a lot
talking.
easier to do.
Oh,
right,
sure, yeah,
right,
yeah, I was, I guess, and I was picturing tours on the insides of the homes.
Yeah, that's what I
Seems
was,
a lot
I mean,
easier to pull off
Bungalow
from
might,
exterior.
but
Yeah.
I don't know about any of the others.
Mhm.
Those are
but if
pretty
it's
tough.
outside,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be walking, it can be, I would think that the owners would be much more open to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and more flexible with dates probably, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
right, versus getting inside
Right.
for a weekend.
Yeah.
And then I gotta clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should make this happen.
I think it
I
would be
think-
wonderful.
You would be, everybody thumbs up on this?
Yeah, and I
This
think,
group?
well, there's the, what is, Dora, you get things from the Dean House or from Historic, and I think their project is a new walking book. Did I read that in one of their newsletters somewhere? So they're trying to work on a new walking book of homes
In
Two.
Monona,
in Blooming Grove,
so it'd be other side too.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why did they not work with us?
I think they're just trying to update the book that was already been made, you know, and just see what's going on. And there's just so many of them. There's like that You said there's that Capital Dairy Walkers or whatever, they have their own little booklet, and that's what I think is the inconsistency of this, of the whole landmarks, is that there's so many public, is it listed in there? No, it's pretty much in that pumpkin book, and there's not really a,
Well, the
Straight-
Historical Society purchase book.
right, but I'm saying there's not really a walking tour of Monona booklet that people can pick up. Do you know what I'm saying?
We have our map.
We have a map. But there's not a booklet with an explanation of each home.
I
So-
think, sorry,
Yeah,
I think that book came with a map. Or comes with a map.
the pumpkin one,
The landmarks book.
$5 one.
And so next year.
but that does not have all the stuff on it. That's what's interesting.
Saturday, May 10th at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring everyone together, give them donuts and coffee,
Mm-hmm.
give an overview, and then we're all gonna go for a walk. And I'm guessing, how long does that wanna be?
90
2 hours
minutes.
max, or 90 minutes?
90, 100.
So we need to figure out a route
Right, that's 90
with
minutes.
5 homes on
Right.
it, let's say,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and probably some of the top homes
Right.
that
Yeah.
fall into this category.
Mhm.
And then maybe there's 10 that we.
And you could have a tent, you know what I
that we
mean?
start approaching the owners.
Yeah.
Cause we.
Admissions area.
Permission to do this or not?
Not if we're on the street,
Yeah,
And then you have to have parking
we
for
would wanna let them
people,
know, but
Yeah,
and then handicap.
yeah, I think we.
we would
do
definitely
that.
involve them.
Yeah.
So,
It's an honor.
Welcome,
First
yeah,
annual.
it is an honor.
yeah,
Welcome you to my home, blah, blah, blah.
We
you
could have a
welcome us.
charter, it could be part of it.
hey,
Totally
yeah,
do that.
we could have the mayor make a proclamation.
I think
It's not that hard.
it's not that hard,
Right, it is-
it's not that hard.
Yeah, I'll say it'll require
Weather.
permission to do. Staff time for that will be really limited, I would say, like, so I'm happy to help out if you make
I am too.
specific requests of me. But I think it's one of these efforts that'll be more on the commission to.
Yep.
To do the organizing, even in between meetings.
So logistics, 30 people show up for coffee,
Yep.
right?
And we have a tent.
Yeah, yeah,
And tables
absolutely.
and a podium and we say a few
Speaker.
words.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Introduce the home.
and books out for schlepping
And
those.
books, yep.
But are the 30 people allowed to just start walking and, you know what I mean?
I think
Well,
when
do you
they
ever
go in
think
a
of
group-
Parade of Homes,
Yeah,
so
but
many
are there
of
any
those, that's
logistics
how
that we
they
gotta
do
worry
it.
about?
You mean like liability or
Traffic?
something or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to think all the things through.
Well,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we do the Monona 20K, what do?
They put
They
cones
just
out,
put out a PSA saying, watch out for people.
and they put some, yeah.
They got weeds and cones. I mean, we're not.
Well, and then
we don't
again,
do
the
that.
yards would have signs in them, yard signs for the homes.
Yeah,
So do
absolutely.
you have a
We definitely have
designated,
little like,
Yeah.
yeah.
designated signage so they
Yeah.
know which home to go to?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
could even do, I don't know if they still do it, there was a company that would put arrows on the ground for you so that you know where to go. But there's a possibility of chalk drawing arrow, so people know where to go to the next home.
So we should start thinking of a day in May, right?
May 10th.
Well,
If that's what we.
Well, yeah, and then, yeah.
I'm like, which one was it?
we gotta make sure something else isn't going on, it's a run or something.
Yeah.
Last
right.
month, yeah, early
Yeah, 'cause
May
last year
was preferred.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'm all over this. I've
And
wanted to
I
do this a
really
long
feel the
time.
ones that are the closest together are over by Bungalowing. Where they have all those, that even though they're not a landmark house, there's the Thompson's house, Thomas's house.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, there's other homes, the Shooties or whatever, that's still their
We could
name.
even have the tent right in Kathy's front yard.
Or even in the Frostwoods parking lot, or what's that other parking?
We need a parking. 'cause
What's that other park that's
So
around the
park-
corner?
Park right there, that's a
Yeah.
perfect.
The
place
one
to
that's
park.
Parking there.
Well, there's no parking in Frostwoods, but I'm saying what's the one around the corner that's up? That has the porta potty, that part, with the baseball diamond.
That's Frostwoods Park, there's no parking lot.
But I'm saying is that would be a big, better traffic area to
Yeah.
put a tent.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
than to put it at Frostwoods
But in
Beach.
that little.
the beach you don't want to
No,
because
no,
you'd have to go down.
exactly. So whatever, then that's called Frostwoods Park.
But there's
The other-
parking there.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought there was a little.
You
some
could,
parking
you
lot.
could park there.
Yeah,
yeah, there's better
Maybe like
parking too.
10 cars.
yeah.
Yeah, up and down that street and then down Midwood,
Maybe.
up and down Midwood, a few cars.
Yeah, we can park there.
But then you have all those other, mid-century international homes, even though they're not when they're walking
We
by
are
the,
meeting them, so.
yeah, right, exactly.
Between you got Thomas, Bungalow, you got the International Houses right there.
Right.
Those ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they can all go to Fraboni's afterwards. Yeah,
I think this definitely is something we should do.
cause that park would be
Definitely.
easy for putting a nice, center area.
I'll bring the donuts.
You bring the
We'll bring the
donuts,
donuts.
and bring in 5 gallons of coffee out of a big drum.
Write it down.
We could look at our map,
Sure, so how far we-
plan a little bit,
Right.
yeah.
Right,
You
Yeah.
guys,
yeah, because there's some things.
Yeah.
You know, on
Mhm.
Nichols.
Do we need anyone's approval to do this?
Well, that could be another year, say that could be another year when you move over there, so do you wanna
Yeah.
use the trading post as the center?
Starting.
And then,
yeah,
go up
We
the
should-
hotel and then over to Dean Avenue and around.
Yeah,
That's what,
Circle
yeah,
zones.
that's what I was just
Yeah.
saying, let's,
Yeah.
let's take the map, cause if we're
Yeah.
making this like a 90-minute walk,
Right,
right,
we're 2 square miles, so.
right.
well, and then maybe, like I say, do
Bring
one-
your walking shoes.
Bring your walking shoes, yeah, yeah.
Not for the like.
Again, I don't want that mud on my carpet either, let's get real, it's bad enough with a cat and kids. Yeah.
All right. So
But I'm saying, has anybody ever gone on those parade of home ones where you pay and you go into the separate homes? Okay, I
I
did
have
one,
not, but.
okay, I did a kitchen one and it was in Maple Bluff, and
Okay.
we went to, like about 5 different, I remember we went to the Clinkies and different houses to look at their newly remodeled kitchens. It was a bath and kitchen show. And, yeah, there was a central tent and we paid, I don't remember, but we went in like 6 houses. Mainly the kitchens is what you walked in and saw what they had done, and then they had their little promo stuff out.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was all in Maple Bluff in a walking, I think we did have to drive. To a couple places,
All right, so next time we get together next month,
and I bet 90 minutes was about what we spent.
we'll look at the map, we'll designate some zones, we'll get some more planning under our belts. If we're only gonna focus on exterior for sure, with possibly an interior every once in a while, then it's easy for us to just say, this is the zone we're gonna do.
Right,
But if we really wanna focus on interior, then we first have to go about getting permission of who would even let us do that, so.
Yeah.
by
well,
starting
and
with
people
exterior-
have those little screens that they could put a little video on of the inside of their house.
Mhm.
Those little.
Yeah.
Storage screens of.
So I'm gonna move on to the next item on the agenda, new business, discussion and possible action on Frostwoods Historic District request for the RFP, so. Go ahead.
yeah, so we have our MOA and scope of work signed. So we're able to move forward now with an RFP for the nomination of the Frostwoods Historic District whenever we're ready. So I put together a draft. And I guess my goal is to have a motion from the commission today to issue that with any changes. So it's really based on the previous RFPs. Timeline would be kind of a key discussion area, I suppose, if we're comfortable with the proposed timeline, or if you want to move a little faster. But my thought is have it issued pretty soon, give folks a month or so to submit proposals, and then we would put together kind of an interview panel to interview anyone who submits those bids, and then select consultants.
So for what you're requesting that this body.
I was about to ask for a motion, but what is the motion that you're asking for?
To approve this draft RFP
All right.
to
Is there-
issue it.
Is there a motion to approve this draft?
I gave, there were a couple edits.
So
But we need to motion and second, and then we can discuss, and then,
Okay,
so,
so I make a motion to
Okay.
approve this RFP
well, okay,
with edits.
sure, with
Edits, all right.
Second,
a second, okay, now let's go ahead and discuss what the edits are.
Alright, so Becca had just some more
Becca and
background information here. Like with the international style homes, they had, the significance of Hamilton Beatty and Alan Strang as the
Mhm.
architects. a correction to the Bungalowan to use the name that's listed on the National Register, the Ray and Theo Owen House.
I
think
think
it
I will
is.
check that.
Yeah, I don't think it's the cottage, but yeah, updated, and those are the only two updates here.
And then can I make a comment on the date that it's due?
Yes,
Can you make it 30 days from the day you issue it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is that too long?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember how long we did last time.
You 30 days?
I don't think it's too long. I think that's pretty typical.
And
Yeah,
you're saying
40 or
30
so.
days for residents of that?
No, to
Or-
submit proposals.
For consultants to submit their proposals once we send this out.
Because if you send this out May 1st, I don't think they need till June 28th.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
right. Yeah, 30 days is reasonable.
Okay.
But there'll be a date there,
Mhm.
Yeah,
not just 30
yeah,
days.
yeah.
And then will that change the other dates coming up here, the July ones?
No, so these dates.
No,
oh,
back
the
up
July
above
ones.
where it said with them,
Did you send this out?
since you're changing June to
In
May,
the packet, isn't it?
It is.
the final consultant
Yeah.
selected will be made in July then, or will we make that in June?
I think it would probably still be July.
Yeah, that I think will be, we'll need a week to review applications and then get interviews scheduled and then a few days after interviews just to make the consultant selection. I think July is still okay there, and then these progress reports are dates set by the
Mhm, right.
Historical Society, every other date is set by the Historical Society.
So this says that the 22 grand grant
Mhm.
will pay for part of it? Is that what this says?
Well, there's no additional funds above the 22,000, so,
So we want this done for $22,000.
or less, and. So the grant amount is based on estimates we received for this work, so that's in line with the estimates we received. We had to submit at least 2 estimates. I think we submitted 3 estimates from Tim Hegland, UW Milwaukee, and then another Milwaukee-based firm called Preservation LLC.
Okay, yep.
Preserve them.
Yeah, Preserve LLC. So, based on that, that's what the Historical Society granted us. It's in, I don't think we'll have any issues with.
Okay.
Cost.
All right, so do we have all the edits collected? New edits? So, all in favor of moving forward with this RFP, which would include the edits that Rebecca proposed? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Great. All right, thank you, Rebecca. All right, next on the agenda, number 6. Letter B, discussion of possible action on amendments to chapter 18-8 of the Monona Municipal Code of Ordinance regarding the landmark commission structure to allow for a citizen chair. So Thor's got the existing ordinance in front of us there. This is something that I have been speaking with Thor about on and off over the past year. My work on this, all of other alders have also commented that in other communities, alders are part of committees, but it is not uncommon to see citizens taking the role of chair. It's only in Monona that we don't do that very often. There are a couple committees where we do have citizen chairs, but not as many as other communities do. My thought is, I am I don't need to be the chair of something. I don't have that burning need to be in charge. And if there are experts out there who would want to step into that role, I see no reason to get in the way of that. I think it's also really smart for a community to grow the next group of leadership and to get people involved and to get people more ready to step into other roles, maybe run for council themselves someday. So I think
this committee was one that came to mind that could probably be a really good candidate for a citizen chair. An alder would still be on the committee, but that alder would not perhaps have a co-chair, like a citizen could be a co-chair or however we would like to structure that. And I also think that in this particular committee, there's a group of very passionate people in this community. And that level of passion is not something that you can reliably count on an alder to bring to the committee. And I think, the wheels of government already spin slowly. And when you have someone who is chairing, who doesn't really have the passion to move them faster, then you just sort of spin. So I see that there's so many potential here. And so I thought I would add it to the agenda, have Thor add it, and then bring it up for a conversation on getting your thoughts on the pros and cons of changing this ordinance. Any discussion on that?
And I'll say, we wouldn't be making a motion to change it today, just to,
Yeah, we're just
to.
talking
move
about
forward
it
with
now,
Yeah, just,
yeah.
You can't change.
we would recommend
We
a
absolutely
change to
can.
council.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We absolutely could.
we
Yes.
could recommend a
We
change.
can
to the city
recommend it, we
council.
can't
Yeah.
change it. That's what I'm saying.
Correct, I'm sorry, yes,
Yeah,
you're right, but we can certainly, yes,
Yeah, we can
rec-
recommend it.
correct. And then council would, yes, and then council would vote on it.
Yep.
Any first thoughts, pros and cons,
Yeah,
or?
why are we limiting it to regarding the landmarks? Why not just say any commission, any city commission? If I can think of a couple others that could
Benefit,
benefit
right,
from the change. Why not just make it depending on the people at the table?
yeah,
If you're the passionate expert and
right,
best leader or whatever you want to say, why would we just limit it to landmarks?
well, those other committees would need to vote, so we can vote on our own ordinance governing our own commission, so basically, the landmarks committee would bring the ordinance change proposal to the council, whereas like public safety committee would bring their,
But
The structure.
But the city council can change it without, they could tell us that
Sure.
we don't need, without us recommending it.
We
it's
could
true.
recommend that the city
Yeah, that's
council
what I'm
look at the
saying.
whole thing.
That's what I'm
Everything,
saying.
every committee, there's
I'm
already,
not saying look at every committee, I'm just
Yeah.
saying make a blanket, rather than
Right.
treat committees differently. Why wouldn't we make it all the same? For,
Equality?
yeah,
At the mayor's discretion, it could be
Yeah.
a chair or a citizen chair or
Mhm.
elected chair.
The reason I'm for
it's
this
the best person.
is because older people turn over every 2 years,
Right.
whether or not they're,
exactly.
reelected.
Right.
And then you have to start all over again, whereas your committee members are
Yep.
still the same.
And that exact conversation has already happened between a few alders.
mhm.
Like, having been on committees ourselves before we became alders, we've seen that exact same thing. Like you feel like you're making some good momentum and then your leadership changes.
And then.
As frequently as once every year,
Yeah.
leadership could
Right,
change,
right.
and it's just really frustrating.
So how do we start it at the top so that it's equal for everybody?
For commission.
I think
Yeah.
that's,
I think you have to make a public appearance at city council.
that'd be you as just a citizen of Monona making recommendations, reaching out to the mayor or the
Well,
alders, but as
proceed-
our body, each commission and committee, the structure of them is spelled out in their own
Right,
ordinance.
right.
So ours is 18-8. So I think our authority is only to make a recommendation for our particular structure.
I don't know when this language got added. Because it didn't used to be that a council person was even on this commission.
It was added, I think, when we were
So when-
pursuing CLG status,
That's probably what it was.
yeah.
Was it
So
required?
is
then?
it required for CLD status?
Which, yeah, we've thought about, and I did email Jason to
Okay,
make sure, and I haven't heard back yet. so I
we
do
should
need
find
to
that
follow
out
up
for
with
Yeah.
sure,
him.
because we need a certified local government.
Right,
Okay.
That's what
Right.
gets us our grants.
right.
I don't think it is, because there are other community, I was looking around and
I
think like
believe Milwaukee
Middleton-
is not,
Yeah.
they have an alder person, but the chair is not.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, and Milton was like that. couple other Dane County communities where,
Mhm.
yeah. So if we want to pursue this, then next month I would draft an amended ordinance and we would make a motion to recommend to council next month.
The ordinance also lays out the number of people
Correct.
on the committee, which could be increased, you know? It's,
So. So tonight we're introducing the idea and maybe next month
we vote on it and we take it to council. I would need
a second alder.
to co-sponsor this, to get it on the agenda,
Mhm.
and then I would just work it through
Right.
and get it passed. So, and who knows, maybe starting with this could open the conversation for all committees, because I'm right there with you. And I think there's expertise in our community that
Mhm.
is not being allowed to really lead.
That sounds like a PSA announcement.
I would think and hope that if this came up, if I was an older person.
Sure.
Not.
Yeah.
And this came to the thing, I would say, why are we not consistent with all?
Sure, sure. And I could absolutely speak to that. Absolutely be happy to do that, because
I
I'm,
think it would benefit.
Mhm.
we are,
You're like mine when it comes to that.
Okay,
all right.
good question.
Sorry, Teresa, you
We can be
mentioned
the-
changing the citizen members. Is that a conversation the commission wants to have
I believe
today?
I do not want to have that conversation. I believe we already increased it and we are having trouble filling it.
Yeah, right,
Okay,
So
so maybe let's see what it was prior
actually, we may
to,
have decreased it.
yeah.
We have, how many?
Yeah,
Six.
one is
But right now
six
we
plus
Oh,
the,
no, how many
plus
do
all
we have? 4.
Yeah.
2 openings.
For citizens.
yeah,
I tried to get one for.
two citizens.
Yeah.
I think we are a big commission relative to our peers.
well, after we do that tour next year, people are gonna wanna be in this commission. Let me tell you. They're
There we
gonna
go.
say
There we
like,
go.
landmarks, that's the one.
I
I
get people
want.
saying maybe.
Those
next year.
people, they are so awesome.
All right. Okay, so there you have
Who's our
it.
4th? Who's fine? Who's our 4th?
Gene,
Gene
Gene,
Dunford,
he's
Okay,
just
yep,
yeah,
okay.
busy till next month, right?
Yeah.
Or the next
till
month.
July.
with
yeah.
the Harry Whitehorse,
Yeah.
with
Festival.
sculptor, yeah,
Um,
all right.
Then he's retired, guys.
Then he's retired,
Yeah,
Wow.
he's retired.
great.
Well, he was retired,
From
but then he
21.
was
Then
doing
he went
like
back to be a teacher.
20%
Yeah.
at MD
Oh,
21,
okay.
but now he's.
So next, I'll move on then to 6C, discussion and possible action on changing the landmarks
Commission standing meeting.
day and time, and this is my fault. I'm happy about it. So, my committee assignments have been changed a bit. I am now part of the Transit
Commission, which as you can
Oh,
see,
yeah,
also meets on Wednesday. And sometimes it would just be impossible to get over there or to get to that next meeting at 6 o'clock.
It's right after, it's right in here.
It's right after,
You don't have
I
to
know,
move.
I know, I know.
I
I
need to
mean,
get back to the
would it be
meetings, I
fun?
get it.
Maybe we leave it, maybe we leave it that way. Otherwise, I was thinking we might change landmarks to meet either the first or the third Wednesday, which would be my preference, instead of putting it all on the same
Are
night.
you thinking of the same time?
If that works for everyone, otherwise later would be better for me, but
Better for me,
Would it?
have way
Great.
more people.
maybe, cause when you're meeting before 5 o'clock, that excludes an awful lot of folks.
Yes.
So how about we do, or one possibility might be 6 o'clock starting time, which is pretty standard
Mhm,
starting
mhm.
time for most committees.
Yeah.
6 on either the first or the third Wednesday, rather than the second.
Mhm.
I'd
Well, the
say
third is.
And John's
pretty
like-
much open.
The first Wednesday.
Screw that, man, I love 4:30 meetings.
I know, but I don't like having to leave work.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Isn't it? Seriously, what dedication you've got there, seriously. So,
I'll warn you guys, I put my pajamas on at 7.
Then that'll make you get through your meeting.
Yeah, that's right, so 6 o'clock on a Wednesday is fine. If I can be home, put my pajamas on.
We're saying 6.
would that be all right, or
I
do you
was
want
thinking we
5:30?
could compromise on 5:30.
Yeah, I would go 5:30. That'd give me another. Well, no, it's just, I don't know what do people work to?
5.
5, okay.
usually.
Okay, I just have you ever seen remember when Downton Abbey was a part of our world?
Uh,
And the grand, she's like, what is a weekend?
Well, exactly.
Like she didn't understand the concept.
I know,
and
why
just-
do you need a
just
holiday?
Now, when you said, when do people work to?
Well, I don't know, like the state works till 4, right? The state's 4.
Oh,
Are they
that's
still,
not true.
or are
No.
they 3?
5 o'clock.
Are they 5?
Oh, yes.
okay.
Oh, yes.
I thought they were like
And
3 or
even
4.
later
I
sometimes.
wish.
So.
Anyway.
Okay.
So what is it,
So what are we
5:30?
thinking? 5:30?
And what are we thinking, first or third?
Well, first Wednesday we run into Public Works.
Yeah,
They
let's do
meet
the
in this
third.
room.
Let's do the third.
It's wide open.
All right, so I'll entertain, how about a motion to meet at 5:30 on the third Wednesday of a month? Does
So
anyone want
moved.
to move by Rebecca? Is there a
I'll second.
By Ann, all in favor?
Oh, I.
And when does it start?
Or
Wait,
John, any
yeah.
discussion? Is there any discussion? John, are you hesitant?
Location.
Same location. Would that be okay?
And starting next month or the following month?
Okay, John, I'm gonna write down a number. What's it gonna take to get you?
No, we're good. Next month, it'll be next month, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
not
all
next
right.
week, it'd be next month.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh, we double up. Yeah, then we don't have to come again.
So bad.
Are you
Do
already-
we-
June,
do we-
April, May, we're in June.
Time,
It's good.
at tea time?
June,
Yeah, I think-
June,
I
I'm
think we
trying to
could
think, what's in the third
have it,
week of July, nothing for, you know what I'm saying,
like
so
for
there's not
next
really
month, I don't
holidays.
see why not.
Oh, Thanksgiving, that's the
Or
fourth
the
week.
following, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, so third Wednesday of the month, starting
So
June.
just look at the
calendars then, yes.
That gives you an extra week, Thor.
June, that would be the
Yeah.
20th. the
Gives
next
Gives you an extra week if we start
I
next
know,
month.
yeah.
See what I mean?
So the
You better ask her.
Wait, is it, do you have a conflict?
No, we know somebody that's on.
We have another employee that's at
I'm
4
licensed at
o'clock.
4.
How does she do it? She's on the
So-
license.
So the 20th of June would be our.
Well, she can zoom it.
Also, you can cross out San Damiano, right?
Oh, right, yeah. You can take that one now. Yeah, we went through this with sustainability a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Had this prepared.
All right, so that means did we vote on this yet?
No, we heard A, but we
Saturday,
didn't know when it started.
Thursday.
You were like a.
All in favor? All right,
Yeah,
motion passes. So that means our June meeting would be June 20th.
All right, fantastic, thank you so much. All right, let's go on to agenda 6, letter D, staff updates. We've got Frank Ellis House. First up.
Okay, so the city administrator let me know that they're beginning discussions with the Friends of San Damiano to update the MOU with them sometime this month. And he's hoping to include fundraising deadlines in there and cost estimates for both of the options under the preferred scenario, the improvements or demolition. And then he hopes to bring plans to the commission in the late summer, early fall
This year.
this year.
Wow.
City administrator.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, for the festival, the wood carving festival, they're looking to just shore up the floor with some temporary.
We're not inside.
There's going to be some kind of tours, I guess, some events inside.
Floor, what's wrong with the floor?
Just to accommodate the number of people they expect, to put some additional support from the basement.
And how does the fire chief feel
I
about
didn't
this?
know
With that, I am part of the organizing committee for that event. I do know that there will be a gallery in the Frank Ellis House where some artists will be displaying artwork and that we are limited to 50 people at one time
sure,
in the house.
that makes sense.
Okay.
I
Didn't hear about supporting.
the floor, but I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it
That
would
seems
just be temporary.
dangerous.
Seems costly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Seems exorbitant when I think about it.
Where are my
Costly,
taxes?
but there's a all full of.
And we gotta roll
My
down.
taxes are going.
Well,
But I could see, 50 people waited on the floor, it's like, they're worried about like the pier collapsing or.
I would like to know if the fire chief was approached.
You know what, I'll ask.
I'm gonna be speaking with the festival organizers.
Sure.
I don't think that 50 people has anything to do with the floor loading. I think it has to do with the size.
Oh, that could be for evacuation during a fire,
Well, it's just how many
Do-do-do-do,
people can
yeah.
occupy a room.
correct,
You can only put so
Space-wise.
many people in this room
correct.
and keep it safe.
Correct.
The floor, I think, is a different.
I think
issue.
he might, well, I mean, you know,
It's not a big room.
it's not big.
No, it's just the first
Well, I
floor,
think so.
nothing upstairs.
Mhm.
All right,
So you're gonna reach out.
I will reach out.
Clarify, okay.
Uh-huh. And then D, letter 2, updates on landmark, marker inventory and cleaning.
Okay, Anne had volunteered to start putting together
I
an
got
inventory, photo inventory
15
of all of them.
pictures today.
Okay, awesome.
So, do I just shoot them to you?
Send me an email, yeah.
So
that'll work.
it'll have to come in different batches,
That's fine,
obviously.
yeah.
So yeah, I went to 15 of them. I went with, that little map.
Fire, man, it's great.
We'll just drive around, 45 minutes, and damn, I should have been doing it when I had my granddaughter, cause then she could just be getting out.
Yeah.
I could be driving, but bad weather, but, so I didn't do the Black Bridge, and, Morningside didn't have a marker.
Okay.
More, and so maybe if there's somebody that, is there a list beyond that pumpkin color book? I mean, I just drove to where I knew there were markers.
Just in our serve.
We have 24
Oh,
landmarks, I don't know about markers.
right.
We don't, yeah, the markers not, because Royal Airport's a different type of marker.
Right, that's
That's
and I didn't go there,
yeah.
and, yeah, so I only did the ones that were on the rock.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm looking at.
Did you get Stonebridge?
No, cause I didn't wanna walk down
Because
there.
when we were down there were 2 different kinds of markers.
yeah,
There's 2 different kinds of markers and one is just in pristine
Yeah,
condition.
one
and the
from
other-
the one.
And well,
Yeah.
not only
Not brand
new,
new,
but
but
they're
Oh.
made of different materials. Very
Yeah.
interesting
It's
how they weather
same as-
differently.
I
Black
do-
Bridge is an old one.
And I didn't do Black Bridge, cause it was
Why
traffic time.
didn't update that when they redid the
Yeah.
bridge?
Yeah,
I would like to suggest that we move the Alice Stone to be over where, by that sign that says Friends of San Damiano, where people stop and read that big sign. I think
Rather
that
than on the
marker,
driveway, I think that's a great idea.
because it's right where people, the mower, I had to clear the grass away,
Yeah.
cause they don't weed whack it. And then you're at a bad exit, but no one's gonna get out of their car and read it. So if it's over there where that other material for reading is, people will
Big
look
board
down.
that says,
Yes,
The
Alex,
timeline.
put it just down underneath that board for now.
I can ask
So-
if Public Works can do that.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say, what's
see-
it gonna take? It's gonna take. a
Public Works.
letter, Public Works.
Yeah, they got
Probably gonna-
time. They can do
did
it
it
electric.
they did it really quickly and easily with the,
So you don't think it's gonna take.
They
The town hall.
Lunar Farm one for us, we
Okay.
did that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they can do that with a Bobcat.
Alright,
Yeah, they
and
love-
where is
they
it
love doing things
currently?
like that.
At the end of the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's at the end of the exit.
Yeah, no.
So it's at the exit where everybody is focusing on the road anyway.
Yeah.
Where am I going? And then that's where people are reading.
You know what, why don't we take a formal vote on this so that when Thor speaks to Public Works, you can honestly say
Yeah,
that we
I
have.
move that we relocate the boulder marker to be closer to the home with the other reading material.
Mhm, okay,
Is there a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye, so Thor will see what can be done there.
because that was
With
one of the
Public
darker
Works.
ones too.
And are you thinking like, I remember you said something about that beautiful
Isn't
big
there-
sign.
Isn't
that
that
they
big
have right
sign
now?
and there's like just a bunch of dirt underneath it, you
And
know what
so
I
you're
mean?
thinking like,
Just put it down there
under
underneath
there?
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
Does the,
close to that.
Cause you don't want it over where people are gonna trip over it, you know
Does
what I
the-
mean?
does the marker say the Frank Ellis house?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then perhaps the friends will have a preference on where they want the marker to be. I feel like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, maybe the friends would be like,
always
oh,
by
let's
the
put it here.
Yeah,
You know,
it's by the
why don't
house.
we should say that friends.
Yeah, we don't want it over by the Mary bathtub,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay,
Somebody should stake it for. Public
Yeah,
Works.
yeah,
So that
yeah,
might not
exactly,
always-
exactly. And you're part of Friends?
No.
Okay,
Done. Oh, I'm not part of Friends, no, I was part of steering committee.
that's right, okay, so I'll ask, cause this Harry Whitehorse Festival, I'm working with a lot of friends. Okay, I'll ask. Maybe.
Mhm.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Next, updates on landmarks documentation.
No updates there, that was just excluded from the agenda to focus on other items
Yeah.
this month.
We have a lot of stuff going on. All right, I'll go on to then number 6E, updates, discussion on diversity, equity, inclusion. This is just a time when anybody can throw out there any of the things that you've been working on as they apply to our work here. I will say that few weeks ago, Rebecca and I found ourselves out at the same place for a little gathering, and we got to talking about some of the things that this body might focus on. And I got kind of all jazzed up about being on this committee, when I was kind of spinning like, oh God, what am I doing on this committee? I feel like I'm holding you back, like I'm just, and she's like, no, we could work on the Ho-Chunk stuff, sustainability stuff, which kind of goes into the next item on the agenda. And so I'm really looking forward to looking at that spreadsheet that you put together, because I saw that you had some things on there of that nature, so. I mean, if other people have ideas for how this body could really, you know, bring those aspects to our work, I would definitely love to see more focus on Ho-Chunk landmarks, or sustainable, environmental sustainability, would be great. As part of the DEI, part of the agenda, again, it was mentioned before, Harry Whitehorse International Wood Sculpting Festival happening at San Damiano, June, should know this by heart, June 14th through the 22nd, I believe. 9 days, sculptures from all over the world, artists from all over the world, 10, 12 different countries. The work hours every day are about 9 to 5. Public is welcome to come in and watch them working. There'll be food and some days music. And just really kind of relaxed environment, walk around and take a look at what's going on. Kind of cool stuff.
He's looking for volunteers still, right?
Yes, he is. In fact, I've been.
Jean actually started this,
Yeah,
in case you guys,
Yeah,
whoever didn't know.
no, I know, cause I was trying to work with him for the gardens. Cause he was into the garden, you know, like I said, and he says, no, I can't do gardens anymore, I can only do this.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yes,
"Yeah."
He's solely focused.
So to build on Rebecca's comment, yes, so a couple years ago, Jean approached some of the friends and floated this idea. He had worked under Harry as he himself, learning how to be a wood sculptor. And he had traveled with Harry to a number of competitions in Europe and brought back the idea, and a couple years later, here we are, and it's never been done before, and so it's a big learning curve, and the template's sort of been created this year, and if we do it another year, we'll have a lot of things already, a lot of lessons learned under our belts.
Right.
But yeah, look for volunteer opportunities. They should be coming out within this week. We'll have the simultaneous should be posted. All right. Next, 6 G, Landmarks Commission request for city staff. Anything? I think we already have made a couple of requests of your time tonight.
We got an
Yeah.
extra week now.
Yeah, we certainly have. And something that I.
So disregard those dates though, right?
Yep, that'll be June 19th and July 17th.
19, not 20.
Yep, in July 17th.
Yeah. June 20, yes, 17. All right. Thank you for that information. All right, we're at the end of the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, is there a second?
Sure, I'll second
Second
that.
by Ann, all in favor of adjourning?
Bye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Nice job.
Adjourned at
5 minutes before
5:55.
the next meeting.